All right, everybody. Thank you for joining Tech TV tonight. This is our special guest interview, DJ Wonder from Shade 45, Sirius XM Radio. How you doing tonight, DJ Wonder? Doing good?
Oh man, I'm excited. I heard DJ Tech is starting a show, and I begged him. I literally begged and pleaded that I could be his first guest.
Man,
Did, did that happen? Is that the truth?
possibly. I mean, I'm trying to take after you and Zach and everybody. How your shows are so dope on Twitch, and it's seriously like exciting to see what you guys do on Twitch every night. So appreciate
Nice.
All right, so let's get into our interview. Ready?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Question one: how did you get into DJing? If you can recall any of your earliest DJing moments, that would be awesome.
Okay. You can't read each question. You have to look at the question, and then you put it into your own words. Okay. So you're like, you got to go like, hey, so when you were a little brat, when did you decide you wanted to touch those tables? Something like that. But I was around 8 years old, 9 years old. I don't know what it was. I took a class at the community college in Delaware called Deltech Community College. This dude Michael Torres was the teacher, and he taught us how to set up and break down wedding mobile DJing equipment for weddings. Like, I don't know if he wanted us to be his personal assistants or something in case he needed somebody to learn how to plug in RCAs and stuff. That's basically what we learned. There was a point where we got to scratch records, and that's all anybody ever cared about in the class. So once we got to do that, I guess I was hooked from that age, but I didn't really touch any equipment again until high school, where they had some laying around in my high school AV department. And that hadn't probably been touched since maybe the late 80s. They had two crates of records, and it was all like UTFO and like uh, Dougie Fresh and just random stuff. So I put that equipment together in high school, and I would mess around with it every like lunch period or whenever I could. So it's been a long time. I guess I've been interested in DJing.
That's really tight. That's really tight, especially with the whole record story there with Dougie Fresh. That's super dope. Do you remember like some of your first records that you owned?
I remember the first ones I bought were, let's see, Beat Nuts off the books, two copies of Step Into a World, KRS-One. There were some records that came with the equipment that I got, which was from Music Factory in Queens, but it like smelled like BO for some reason. Like the slip mats that came with it just smelled like body odor. It was weird. But that's like what I think of when I see the record cover now. One was like DJ Magic Mike, like a mega mix of DJ Magic Mike. They just threw in a bunch of records I think that they had laying around. Half of them were warped, but I thought it was the greatest thing ever. So
That's so tight. That's so tight. All right, so some of us know you're from the great state of Delaware, where our current president is from. So shout out to the great state of Delaware. Um, Looking back on your childhood and stuff, are there some things that you miss most about your state?
I mean, I miss being touched by Joe Biden often, but hopefully I'll get the opportunity again. Besides that, I don't know. I love Delaware actually now. I didn't like it when I grew up. Not to say I didn't like it. I was just ready to get out, man. It's so close to so many like major cities like DC, where you're at, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and then when I got later on in life, like in high school, I was able to start going to New York with like class trips. My parents wouldn't really take me there. 'Cause they didn't. My father and my grandfather are from like the New Jersey, New York area, and they didn't want to go back. So the only way I could get back into the city was on class trips. So I would go with like none of my friends. I was like a freshman going with upperclassmen just so I could get into the city of New York. And once I got there, I decided that's where I wanted to end up. But now, man, I could see myself actually going back to Delaware like very soon, actually, because it's cool, man. It's close to everything, and plus it's far enough away from everything, so I like it.
It's definitely dope when I take the train to New York City, how it goes through Delaware. It's always nice to see like the water and stuff. It's always really cool state to stop through.
Hmm.
So your days were beginning at Hot 97, I'm pretty sure. And what was that like? Like, did you face any, because that was like some of your beginning days as a DJ professionally. So like what were some of the challenges that maybe you faced as an early DJ at Hot 97 in those days, right?
No, I did not get the chance to DJ at Hot 97, and it really scarred and motivated me in a few ways because I don't know, kind of pushed me a little bit, but it was such an exciting experience just to be there, man. Like I did it as an intern. I was actually um went to school for film, but I was doing the radio station pretty much every weekend of my college career. Because the school I went to is called Hofstra University, which is on Long Island, and they have a professionally run radio station. Basically, it's not just students; it's community members and everything. And they run it like straight up. So I had the experience, but I didn't think I wanted to get into that. I just did it for fun. I wanted to get into filmmaking, and music videos is really what I wanted to do. But then eventually I decided there, I saw in our radio station, like office, there was fax that came through. That's how we would get our internship notices, with through faxes. There was a fax that said programming department at Hot 97 is internship available. I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to try out for this. If I get it, I'm going to work there. If not, then whatever, I'll keep doing film stuff. And then I got the internship, and then ended up working as an intern with the program director, which is crazy. So basically, that's like the head of all talent and everything else. I'm like right in the office, seeing all of the artists come through who I grew up, idolizing or whatever. All the DJs that I grew up looking at and never got to meet before. Basically, got to meet all like a lot of my heroes within the first 2 months of being there. So it was great. But then once again, you do see that there was definitely like a glass ceiling at that time. If you weren't like Flex or Angie Martinez or like Mr. C or any of these guys that had their space, nobody was really getting a chance like they do now. Now at Hot 97, they give a lot of people chances. It's crazy to me, but yeah, man, back then it was the radio station. This was before there was no competition for hip hop radio in New York City. There was no Power 105. There was nothing. So that was it, man. It was the pinnacle of hip hop radio at that time.
Was that before or after the DJ AM days? Was that like were
Right
you there before AM?
right before and during, because I learned about DJ Am through Mr. C. Mr. C used to bring him out to a club in New Jersey. I don't know what the club name was, but he used to bring him out there, and he would come back talking about this guy used to mix like rock records and hip hop records together, and he's crazy. But at the time, I was kind of listening to Mark Ronson. In the city, one of my favorite club nights in the city was Mark Ronson and Stretch Armstrong did a night at Central Fly. And Inhumans, they had this group with Inhumans with a Z, had a mashup like CD kind of like mix out that was like straight rock and hip hop. And I was listening to that already. So like when I heard about AM, I was like, yo, who is this? And then I think the first CD or whatever that I got from him was Samantha Ronson and him did a couple mixes together, like Holler Bread and Holler Back or something. I don't know. Holler Bread with
Challah
Raisin.
bread. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
Yeah, that
I've
was
seen that mentioned. Yeah.
through Rockefeller. So when Damon Dash would come up, he would bring like some of those, and then also like a C Ronson like T-shirt or something like that was from Charlotte Ronson, Mark Ronson's sister. And because he would like Dame Dash was involved with all of them, so that's kind of how I got my first taste of hearing AM, was through all that.
That's such a tight story. That's so cool. Another famous DJ Cypher sounds right. You worked early in your career with him. What was it like working for him? I know. Shout out to the homie DJ Bo. He's DJ'd with him in DC before, and they've had him at Bo's comedy show before. But what's that like working with Cypher Sounds? I mean, he's a dope comedian. He's a dope DJ. What's that experience like?
I mean, it was crazy, man. I first met him. My first internship actually, it lasted for maybe like a month or 2 months. I don't know, before I had to get out. Was Franchise Record Pool, which is Funkmaster Flex's like record pool at the time, and I would have to go to like clubs and hand out flyers or whatever. So I met Cypher when he was very young, and I was young as well. And so I've known him for a while, but working with him was dope because he was very funny even back then, and he was doing kind of non-traditional things. We did a morning show on Shade 45. It was the first morning show on Shade 45, and we are doing non-traditional stuff for like hip hop radio, which kind of a lot of people have adapted now. But back then it was like pretty much nobody doing it outside of like Star and Buck Wild and him, just being like funny hip hop radio. And he was also excellent DJ. So each morning I got to see kind of how he did interview styles, and then also got to see his DJing technique. So it was a good class that I was able to work with him each day.
Yeah, that's definitely tight. I mean, that's cool that you caught him at such an early state, and you also developed at that early state too with him. That's pretty cool. That's a dope transition right there for sure. Um, So switching gears from old to new, what are some like you're Shade 45 DJ, you got to be on top of your music each and every day. So what are like some current artists you're following closely that you've seen, really pop lately, even though we're in, COVID still and clubs aren't popping, it's really about what people are just putting out there. So what are you listening to right now? What artists are you listening to?
Are you joking with me, man? You haven't been out in the clubs? You haven't been to a little speakeasy there in DC?
I
DJ
have
Tech, you
not.
haven't?
No, I just got back to DC 2 weeks ago. So I've been upstate New York in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of snow and cold. So I'm trying to keep it safe.
Hold on.
Oh, oh,
These
oh,
people, oh, they found out about me. They found out what was going
damn,
on. Oh my
damn.
goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna have to let them know that I'm not gonna give up their secrets. But yeah, man, I was able to go out to like San Diego, LA, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and kind of see the scene out there during this whole past year. And luckily been able to kind of see what people are rocking to. But I mean, honestly, it's not stuff that I personally listen to at all. I don't listen to hip hop outside of work at all. But I do have to go through all new albums, like, and I do that just for myself. I'll go through each album and I'll pick like 2 or 3 tracks that kind of represent the style of production that I like, which is most important to me, and then lyrical content comes after. I mean, lately, Pooh Shiesty, I listened to his album. It's all right. There's a couple of joints on there. Madlib album is pretty dope, but it's just straight instrumental stuff. Trippie Redd has a great album called Neon Shark, which is like straight pop punk, and it's produced by Travis Barker from Blink 182. So I've been listening to that. The Internet Money joint Lemonade took about 6 or 8 months, I guess, for me to like finally jump on. But I'm kind of feeling that. I like Don
That music
Toliver.
video is pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's cool. He's like the new Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac kind of guy. Young Dolph, I think, is hilarious. Just his ad libs, I think, are funny. So listen to that guy. And then just for my personal stuff, I've been listening. Like, I actually got into a couple like country artists. Diplo's country album is pretty dope. And Jack Harlow's album is really good. Also,
Yeah,
I
I
listen
agree.
to that
I agree. Jack's killing it.
a lot. Yeah.
Definitely fan of Jack Harlow for sure. Like 100%. Like, man, what's popping? Like once I heard that record, I kind of definitely started paying very close attention for sure after that record, and then obviously the research led to other things that I enjoyed for sure.
That one didn't do it for me, man. I don't know. Like, I wasn't really feeling that one, but then like the Tyler Harrow joint kind of did it. Anything that has like an Nsync, the group Nsync reference in a rap song, it pulls me in, man, because that was my golden era was with those TRL years.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite NSYNC record?
And let's see, my favorite. I like the early, just like I like early Backstreet Boys. I like early
Yeah.
Instincts. Let me
My
let me
sisters
take a
went and
look.
saw New Kids on the Block in concert, so I'm totally hip.
I mean, I definitely was like in elementary school, kids were going to see. I was into Skid Row, the heavy metal group, when kids were into New Kids on the Block. So I wasn't really on that. But then when Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch came out, I wanted to go see them at Salisbury Civic Center, or at Wycomico Civic Center in Salisbury, Maryland. That's where I wanted to see them. But no, but my parents wouldn't take me, man. I'm an only child. I have no brothers, older brothers or sisters, anybody that could have taken me to that. So I missed out growing up. My favorite NSYNC song was probably what's it gonna be? Girlfriend. I like that joint. Tearing Up My Heart. That's one of the
Yeah,
early joints
that's
that
a
I really
record.
like.
That girlfriend remix with Nelly is always fire for sure. Always fire.
Yeah, anything Pharrell and Timberlake involved is dope.
Yeah, side story. My sisters actually tried getting me tickets to a Backstreet Boys concert for my birthday, like when I was 13, 12, 13, and they sold out in like seconds. We could never get them. It was insane. All right. So
We really missed out on our youth, and it's a real shame.
just really missed out on those solid concert years, But I did. I mean, I think my later concert years were more dope because on my birthday I saw Macklemore, Talib Kweli, and Big Crit front row, and that was amazing. One of my favorite concerts ever in the Carrier Dome of Syracuse. So it was just
Wait, wait, wait,
insane.
wait a second. You saw Macklemore? Oh my goodness, man! You might as well give it up. There's nothing else left for you in this career.
Why
You
is
saw
that?
Macklemore?
I mean, like I haven't really been to a lot of like live concerts. I'm only 35, so I really like I just don't I don't have time because I work so much for Apple, so it sucks, and that's changing, thankfully. So, anyways, getting on with this conversation.
Let's talk about more about Macklemore. Let's talk about his
Well, I mean, listen,
lyrical
the concert
prowess.
was insane. Like seriously, like I mean, it,
Listen,
sorry,
look what Macklemore did to
yeah,
your
I know,
equipment,
right?
man.
Ryan, I mean, just the whole show was cool. Like,
I know. I'm joking around with you, man.
no,
Macklemore,
I know. I'm
he's a great
terrible at
artist.
taking jokes, dude. You know this. Like, I'm
Nah,
the worst at taking jokes, but it's all good.
yeah.
All right. So we're now into the streaming days, right? Where, you know, I've taken some definite notes from you and your stream and Zach's stream and, you know, a lot of the DJs that really kill it on Twitch right now. In your opinion, right? What are like, give me like one or two like stress like things points that you really had to get through, I guess, to really develop a solid stream and really like kill it, because we all started at some point. We all had our starting points of our streams and we developed and we learned more as we went along. That's just what a DJ is, I think, in my opinion. But excuse me, in the beginning, right? What were some of like those really hard points to kind of get over and figure out in your opinion?
I mean, well, the biggest stress point is still the biggest stress point. Nobody watches. You filthy freaks. I'm giving you my life and you don't want to watch my stream. Outside of that, it took about like probably like literally 6 months, 5 to 6 months of troubleshooting something like every single night, like every day. Um, just trying to figure out the whole process of streaming and using the program OBS and um, finding little tricks and stuff, whatever. Like it was so frustrating. It was like literally like a puzzle. And hopefully I'll be able to help other people who have hit me up about like kind of problems that they've had, because I've been able to solve a few things and hopefully help some other people too. But yeah, man, it was
Definitely help
so.
me.
Okay, well, cool. That's good, man. It's good. I'm glad I was able to help you a little bit. It was kind of like I would go to bed. I would go to bed just pissed off, dreaming about like OBS and like Twitch and things like that. Literally, because I didn't want to go to bed until I solved the problem. But then I'm like, man, I do have to get up and actually do a job in the morning. So, um, very stressful, but also a very enlightening time for myself. I learned a lot of skills that I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't have to do all of this. If I was still like flying out every weekend and playing places and didn't have time to like sit down and actually figure some things out. So I mean, from I'm using one computer to do everything, which is tough. So from like overheating issues to how to make files smaller so they don't use so much of your CPU, how to integrate Zoom into your live stream, like all kinds of crazy troubleshooting stuff I had to go through.
Yeah, you definitely gave me a gem, you know, that I don't think we should share because that's a gem that you shared with me and I kind of want to keep that to myself. About the
Okay.
audio driver, if you can
I
remember.
thought you're gonna tell it that what I told you about picking up women, but you won't
Yeah,
share
you have
that
a
either.
girlfriend now. Damn it, Wonder. Like we got to keep that. That's I have my queen now, Wonder, and she's my queen.
Your queen, baby. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
It's that respect, man. But yeah, I definitely like appreciate, you know, like the stuff, the gem that you dropped with me. Like it's definitely been, as you said, like we're learning things that we never really had the ability to if we were just still out DJing full time and you know, you working on Shade 45 and all of that. So I'm definitely appreciative of that. I mean, I feel like I'm a TV producer and a DJ now almost with this stuff. So, you know, I think who knows what's to come next. I mean, who really knows? The sky's the limit with this stuff. I mean, I'm sure clubs and bars may. I mean, I know some DC spots are already introducing that where they're booking DJs virtually and paying them good, you know, good money to DJ
What?
for the clubs. So
Can
yeah.
you put my name in that pool? I didn't know it was so easy. I could just sit here
Well,
and
I tell
get
you what, I
paid.
will give the guy his flowers because he does deserve it. But shout out to DJ Q in the DMV area. He hosts a Sunday brunch raid thing. And he DJs for Vivid Lounge for them from time to time and a few other spots. But yeah, he's turned it into a cool little, you know, side hustle where he's not DJing live in the clubs, he's DJing virtually and he's making his money. I mean, get that bag when you can. I mean, that's why I'm just thankful that I have a full time gig when I'm not DJing myself. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of DJs aren't doing so well. So shout out to the guys who are still out there
What a
electronic.
year! What a year for like reevaluating your life.
Absolutely.
I really had to like. I've had a lot of internal thoughts from many angles, not just about jobs, just about a lot of like, what am I doing, man? Like, what am I doing? So yeah, I don't know. I'd kind of, but the reason why I would travel is just to kind of like see things in certain places are like semi back to normal. I need that, man. Like I can't do this. I can't sit in this square right here anymore. I'm going nuts. I go nuts every week. So I got to get out, man. So when you say things, who knows what's going to happen? Hopefully, who knows what's happening or things go back to at least semi how they were before. Just that's my personal hope, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
I definitely hope that too, man. I miss DJing for live crowds. I don't like staring at this wall in front of me with this camera, and it's not the same feeling. It's not even close to the same feeling dropping, big tracks at 1:30 in the morning when it's packed to capacity and you get that live crowd reaction. I mean, it's just no better feeling than that in my opinion. Well, let's talk about live events for a second. So, looking back maybe on the last couple of years, I want to know the other side of the spectrum. I want to know a DJ gig from hell that you had, and why was it hell, and how did you overcome hell, and what came from that?
I mean, anytime that let's see, there's a DJ gig that I mean, the only time that I love DJing. That's the thing, man. Like I always tell myself that if I ever get to the feeling that nah, I don't feel like doing it tonight or whatever, then it's a wrap for me. And I've always it's almost gotten that way sometimes with the live streaming stuff, just by being uh like disheartened by the amount of people watching sometimes, and it kind of made like, what am I even doing this for? That kind of made me sometimes be like, nah, I don't feel like doing it. But not the actual act of DJing. I still love it, like every time I do it. Um, so as long as like that was the one thing that maybe I'll switch up after stuff opens back up. I said yes to everything. I'll say yes to any party because it doesn't matter to me. Like I didn't care about how it looked for my profile or anything else. I just love being out there, and I'll do people favors, everything, just so I could be in front of people. But if I did do those things and they didn't have proper equipment, that's always makes it the worst DJ gig because I don't like to misrepresent myself. I'm not just somebody that can have a controller out there or like one turntable working or no turntables doing everything on internal mode and like put a song on and then go talk to girls or something or have a drink or something and just sit back and or yell on the mic. I'm not like I gotta constantly be working or doing something creative while DJing. So if I don't have equipment that works, that makes it bad. If nobody's there, I guess it's like the same as if I'm live streaming. Nobody's there, so it's the same thing, man. But so that makes it really bad. And those have been the only like bad experiences, I guess. But also, I sometimes people would fly me out to play personal parties, and I didn't like. I stopped really doing weddings because I'm responsible for like the happiest day of somebody's life, and I don't feel like dressing up half the time. But I stopped doing that, but then other people would fly me out to play like their personal clubs, or like sometimes I actually play people's like personal like backyards, or like if they had like a good amount of money, I guess I would do it, whatever.
Get that bag,
And
man.
so, but then they would kind of like walk me around like I was like their like trophy for the day or something. It was weird, man, which I don't mind. It's cool, but it was just like they kind of was like showing me off to their friends and stuff, and I was like, dude, they don't care about me. Let's just let me go to the hotel and let me know when I need to come out and actually do the job. So those are the kind of things that I guess I didn't like, but it's still I'm happy to DJ every time I do it, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. Like my mom always told me, like, find something you truly love to do and then do it. If you'll do it for free, it's a genuine passion in your life. Like if you're willing to go like wherever it is to DJ for a party for free, just to get your fill in, like then you have the passion for it. I mean, I think my passion for DJing came from just my love of music. I mean, yeah, in my early days, I remember as a kid watching the DJ in the gymnasium at our junior high dances and being like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, this is crazy. Like, how all these kids are so hyped with each track that he plays. Like, it always blew my mind. So,
Dude,
yeah,
isn't that crazy? That is what shaped my musical like taste was junior high or middle school dances. Like, and I know who the DJ was, and he ended up DJing like one of my best friends' weddings, which was crazy to me. It was like it was awesome. But yeah, man,
What was your DJ's name? I want to know this. What was your what
I
you
knew
guys?
you were gonna ask me that. It was the home ec teacher's husband, but I don't know what his actual DJ name was. But
I
um,
actually remember mine, believe it or not. Mine was DJ Philly C. He's out of Homer, New York. I used to play lacrosse with his son. His son was a lacrosse goalie. I played lacrosse goalie as well. We went to rival high schools. But yeah, man, he used to kill it in like our gym, and like it'd be like, yo, what like, and he would be doing it with CDs. That was back when like the CD turntables were the thing, and
mhm.
no computer, but like it was just cool. Like he would be rocking out for 3 hours after a home football game, and people would be wilding the fuck out on who let the dogs out at the right time, and it'd be like, how did he figure that out? How did he know when to play that song? And like, wow, what just happened? Like, and it was just insane. Like, my junior high days were like Baha Men, Cisco, like all that stuff was coming out. Like, you were cool as fuck if you were grinding on a girl when the thong song came on, and that was like your highlight of your night at the dance, like from junior high. Like that was my years. So that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
I remember one of the craziest things was the in high school was a DJ playing "Put It in Your Mouth" by Akinelli at but it was a clean version, which is crazy to me. They were actually playing on the radio too, I guess at that time, which is nuts. But he played that at the dance. This was a different DJ, by the way. I remember this guy's name, DJ Force One from in Delaware. I think he lived in the old Georgetown, Delaware apartments complex out there, and he would come through with his truck that had Force One written on the back of it. That's I remember that dude. But yeah, dude, that whole time from like middle school through high school, I guess that's what everybody that's like their favorite music, and it
Yeah.
will always be their favorite music, no matter what era you come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I had the best club years for college, in all honesty. Like, my college years were '04 to '09. And that was when all that pop hip hop was coming out, like everything. Like, I was in the club when the DJ broke "This Is How We Do" 50 Cent in the Game on a 12-inch vinyl record. Like, it was in, and then like it's insane, like to think like the hip hop that we heard, and then to know like the hip hop that came before it. Like, really genuinely, hip hop had such a solid, like genuine good run of so many years before we went into trap hip hop. If you really think about it, like, I don't know, I'm not, I am a fan of some trap hip hop. I'm not a fan of everything. And I think you bring up a good point that we really developed some of our favorite genres of music and taste in our younger years, like our junior high and our senior high and our college years. So
Mhm.
I guess that's maybe why I haven't been so attracted to the new age, like trap hip hop and the new hip hop. But the good thing is I'm finding like gems along with the more like quicker tempo hip hop records that really still give the vibe of the '03 to '09 era for me that I really enjoy. So, you see it along the way. It will obviously continue because so many producers sample previous work. So, you're always going to hear past music in future renditions. So,
I hated that era, by the way. Like,
why?
like first off, like, well, I would say 2005 to 2010, I thought was just completely whack. 2000, even 2000, I don't know, man. 2005 to 2010 just didn't do it for me. Like outside of like Kanye, I guess. I hated. Now I'm starting to enjoy it again. Like 2000 to 2003 music like that. It was all like just weird jiggy Trackmasters music that was like it had a lot of Spanish guitar and like just weird stuff like Best of Both Worlds, R. Kelly and Jay-Z stuff like that. Like just like all the keyboard sounds did not do it for me. I'm a heavy sample person, or that's what I like in production. Um, but then 2003, 2004 were some great albums like Justin Timberlake Justified, like Diplomatic Immunity, Diplomats, Kanye came out,
So,
or Chocolate Factory, R. Kelly, fire. But like, yeah, man, that's that kind of like. But then once Little John took over 2004, um, and like his productions started rolling 2005, 2000, and then Houston came through, and then Rick Ross and Miami, all these other like down south places, man. Like that, I feel you on that. Never got into that music. I mean, I understand it now. You got to play it. Like now, you're in New York City.
right.
If you go out in New York City, you're doing a straight like Atlanta strip club set the whole night. Like if you play like Jay-Z public service announcement or whatever, you might get like some older heads that are like feeling it for a little bit, but people are gonna want to hear like um all the trap stuff again. Like you can't do a long sets of like just New York music like that. You know what I mean? So did not enjoy those times. And I
Yeah,
was like, that was me just getting in the club during that time too. So it kind of sucked. I kind of missed. I just missed probably my favorite era of playing like right before that. But I don't know. Oh, and I hate, you know what I hated? The like the Timberland and Danger Hands kind of era, like Promiscuous Girl and Way I Are and all that stuff. I like it now.
really.
I like it now again because of
Okay.
nostalgia. But
Okay.
I hated the warm up period from 11 to 12 of like after that after it just stopped being hits where you had to play like Akon and like Smack That and all that other stuff like back to back to back. I like that it was up tempo, but I just thought it was all corny, man. Like the synthesized like production was not for me.
Yeah, I guess I'm a fan of the opening set. I mean, I do a lot of opening sets myself for a lot of different DJs, so I appreciate being able to play like that kind of stuff and getting people to come in and hear the throwbacks. But yeah, that's crazy that you weren't a fan. But hey, man, that's the best thing about music is we all have our individual tastes. So respect, like I appreciate it. Like I'd rather hear you say I don't like it than just saying I like it and that's that. And I'd rather have somebody be individualistic than saying, well, I just want to be a part of the sheet. So I appreciate you, bro. Um, so side question. If you couldn't do anything in music, anything like DJing, executive, like anything, what would you be doing now and why?
I mean, can I do something in like film or can I do something in
Yeah,
another
yeah, yeah. You could
art
do
form?
something else creative for sure, but nothing in music, nothing music related.
I mean, I guess I would do film or maybe graphic design or something. I mean, even though I'm not a great um like artist, like I can't like sit down with a pen and paper and draw something realistic, but I think I'm learning more, just about kind of editing and Photoshop and kind of creating animations and things like that. Um, or maybe I don't know, be a teacher. I always liked working. Like I worked at the Boys and Girls Club when I was growing up, and I like working with kids and stuff. A lot of my friends ended up becoming most of my friends ended up becoming teachers and coming back and working for our high school or for like our district of where our high school was, which is crazy. I feel like it's drawn us back somehow. Like my town in Delaware, just I feel like it's drawn everybody back, no matter where they go off to. Something about it. Excuse me, something about it. Um, so maybe that teacher, and then outside of that, maybe something in marketing. I always liked advertising and kind of figuring that kind of stuff out. So who knows? Or what I always talk about is maybe I work at Cracker Barrel, man. That's my true calling. Be a host at
Bomb
Cracker
mac and
Barrel,
cheese, dude. Bomb mac and cheese. Always. Always.
right?
Yeah, man. I think my mom. It's weird how you mentioned the teacher thing. My mom always told me, like, as like a high schooler growing up, she was like, "You should totally be a teacher. You'd be an awesome teacher. Like, you would be so good, like teaching the youth." Like, I'm like, Mom, the first kid that acted out on me, I'd snap, and that would
Oh
be
yeah,
the end of my career. Like, that would be it because I'd be like, "Yo, sit your ass down and shut up and listen." Like, because I just don't like. Nah, I give our teachers though of the U.S. like so much respect, especially during now, like having to do all that stuff from home and manage like your kids at home too technically like that's insane like it's insane what they're doing right now so man that's dope so all right man another side question these are like we got one more after this to wrap up this interview so I truly appreciate your time tonight and
I still hope all your viewers are still there. I see you guys. I see you, man. Don't go anywhere. He's gonna play some music. Don't worry. It's not just about me tonight. Okay, I promise.
this part is totally about you, man, because this is technically my 2-year anniversary of me being, I guess, DJ on Sway in the Morning. So that's because of you. So thank you for having me. Seriously, you know how thankful I am for that day and how dope that day was in my DJ career. So definitely thankful for that and always. And hopefully, one day hopefully we'll be back and I'll see you guys in the studio someday again. That definitely will be down the road. I mean, I just hope to hear you back all live in the studio someday. Shit, like let's just put it that way.
Yeah, man. As soon as artists start traveling again and are down to go, I'm sure they'll have us back in there. We'll probably be back in there before a lot of the like administrative people or like you know people coordinators, people who put music into the system, stuff like that. The talent will probably be in there first. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I mean, I definitely would like to be back to work also. So who knows, man? You want to come do a guest set? Sure, whenever you want. I might not even be there. You never know. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? But
Mhm.
damn, I miss those early morning sets on Instagram Live, dude. Those were life. Like
Mhm.
those would always I'd be walking to Apple and listening to you DJ live and I'd be like, he's just fucking going off. I remember the one day that you did the was it the old no, it was the old theme show song mix.
Oh
And you
yeah.
did it for like 15 to 20 minutes and it was just solid hits like and you kept coming. And I was like, pause, DJ Crooked. But yeah. Uh but you just kept dropping them and I was like, yo, is he gonna stop? Like, this is insane. Like, you just did cool things like that on the show to make it interesting because I respect you because you did it every single day, like you're not taking days off in this, you're doing it every day. And to have that creative mindset and the agility of being creatively edged every day has got to be challenging to say the least. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
I want to give a shout out to Mr. C because he was the original person to do um like TV themes in a mix. He used to do it on Hot 97 for old school at noon, and then it turned into the throwback at noon. He would do straight like Gilligan's Island into Three's Company into um good times, all that stuff. So definitely respect to him. But I think my more I was more into the stuff that I grew up like '90s Nickelodeon like TV themes and stuff like that. Home Improvement TV theme, Seinfeld, obviously, all that stuff. So that was cool. That was fun. But yeah, man, it was. I think those days were having because I also produced the morning show, so I would literally. For the first hour, I'd be sitting there behind the board producing the show, and then go over and I'd have maybe 15 minutes to kind of organize the mix for the day. I probably should have done it the night before if I was a prepared person. That's probably what most people would do. But I do it on the spot, bong, bong, bong. And it's kind of helped me to this day when I play pop-up parties or when I play like they do a raid or if I play on somebody else's channel, like if it's online stuff, and or like the Serato page. And I have to put a mix together because now I like if it's for like a big stream, I like to have something prepared so I can know what's next. I can talk to people and not have to worry about like searching on my computer looking like I'm answering emails or whatever. So it's helped me kind of just do a stream of consciousness, put crates together. And I think that could help a lot of people out. Like when you put a mix together, my idea is to start with just one song that you want to start with that's gonna kind of like set the tone, and from there just let it go, man. And like think about instruments that are in that song that another song might have. Think about like a line that you could loop that leads into another song's like line, an acapella that could go over the end of an instrumental, something like that. And that's kind of what I do for each song. So doing those little 30-minute mixes
Don't
every
give away
morning is
too
helpful.
many of your secrets now.
I
Don't
mean, they
don't
can
say
try,
don't
dude,
do that
but
to us.
you could try if you want to, but yeah, try
Right.
it, man. See what
Oh,
happens.
I hear that. You can try if you want to. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. You can try if you want to. I agree with you. All right,
Mhm.
Wonder. So we're after the gig and you're chilling in your hotel room and you can order any food you want. Like, what is the absolute, in your opinion, best post gig food that you love to grub on? That just I don't know, man. Like, what's your favorite food to grub on? Like, you see me, like, Jesus, I'm not the skinniest person in the world, so I love my food, but like, I want to know, like, what are you grubbing on after your gigs, bro? Like, what do you like to? What's your favorite food?
I mean, it's usually whatever the girls decide to get from room service. So I don't really eat that much. That was a joke. Dang,
I know it
didn't
was a
mean.
joke. I know it was a joke. I just let it slide. I
All
was.
right, let me try again. Let me try again, guys. No, I'm just joking. There's never girls in my hotel room after show. I'm very serious when I'm DJing. Like, if people come in the booth or whatever, like, if I'm in another city, I'll say what's up or whatever. But I'm never like just wilding out. Like, I'm very focused on like making sure. Like I said, I don't want to underrepresent what I can do, equipment wise or like skill wise or anything. But like if I was in Miami, man, if I would really wild out, I would go to La Sandwichery and get like, but usually and get like a chicken salad and like sandwich or something like that. But and usually it would like even when I was in New York and I used to eat at like 4 a.m. I don't do it anymore. I don't eat after gigs anymore. But when I used to, it was from the diner or something, but it would always be semi-healthy. And every meal like this is for me. I'm the yin and yang like that. I eat salad and French fries is like one of the biggest meals that I eat. So back then I would get like a salad, but with like mashed potatoes and like peas, and then I would put A1 sauce all over mashed potatoes and peas. That was like one of my favorite meals.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, man, A1 is my condiment. I'm trying to get sponsored by A1.
Let's get you some A1, bro, because
Please.
A1 is my favorite I mean, not my favorite, but like definitely top 5 for sure. Favorite condiment, man. Like absolutely 100%.
Right.
That chicken salad sounded pretty good too for down in Miami. Like that sounded
That's the
pretty
spot,
fun.
man. The La Sandwichery. It's on around 14th, I think, on South Beach, and there's one in Brickell, and then there's one in Wynwood also. And yo, it's always good after the old club for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Last question. So here we go. I mean, if you can think of this, great. I would like to know as the end of this interview, your top 3, in your opinion. This is up to you. In your opinion, your top 3 most memorable DJ moments from your career thus far.
Oh my goodness.
And it can be for whatever reason. It can be for personal reason. It doesn't have to be because this gig was socially speaking really dope and people would look at you as an incredible DJ because you did the gig. It's more so like if it like things that you really can look back on and be like, this was really incredible to me as a DJ, as a person in my career. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Okay, so I guess like an easy one would be just doing morning show on Shade 45 Sway in the morning, being able to like mix for some of the rappers that I grew up never thinking I would ever meet, like mixing instrumentals for them to freestyle over basically. So it's very nerve wracking as well because you don't want to mess up. If you're the person that like skips a beat, like if I'm most DJs will just put on an instrumental and let it rock. I was always cutting up and like putting on different instrumentals, and we created something called the Five Fingers of Death, which is like
Yep.
five different beats, you know. And doing that for like artists is it was so crazy to me, man. Like even like R&B artists, when like getting them to sing like R. Kelly did it actually. We talk about R. Kelly again. Mad different R&B artists singing over like hip hop beats is something that I always wanted to do. Like since I used to listen to blend tapes, like when I was growing up. But be able to do it live was nuts. So that's one thing. Another one was being able to open up for Diplo when he did like a 4-city helicopter tour in one night. He did like 4 different cities, and he ended up like in New York City. So me and my friend DB, we opened up for him, and it
Shout out
was
to DB.
like absolutely nuts, man. It was one of my favorite sets that I've ever done. Also,
Do you
uh,
still have that crate saved?
no, I have no idea what I played because it was definitely a blur. It was
And you didn't record it?
No, this was before like you could even record on Serato. I mean, you could
Oh,
record on Serato if you had it was like the Pioneers or whatever mixers, so you couldn't really have the integration with recording in a Serato, and I didn't have a recorder on me. But it didn't matter because that probably would have messed me up. I just like being in the moment. I don't even like to know when people are recording stuff because that'll mess me up too. So that was a crazy experience. Anytime I got to like play like with any of my like favorite guys like A-Track or Diplo or any of those guys, is always fun. And then probably the last one is doing the do-over, the party do-over. It's probably my favorite party to play that I've been able to play before. And just the energy of that and being out in LA. I've done it in Chicago also, and New York as well. And being able to do that party is nuts, man. I can't wait. Hopefully, once I'll be able to do that once again when they start those up again.
For sure. That do-over party is something special. Like that's like DJ bucket list for me, right? Like cuz I'm still pretty young in my DJ career, so I mean, it's just insane to like think like some DJs don't have that. Like as a career, right? You should have objectives that you want to achieve for your career as a DJ, like a DJ bucket list per se, like shit you want to do before your career ends as a DJ, right? So
Mhm.
as I said, like doing that would be one. Sway in the morning was definitely was one of them. Absolutely. I think there's plenty more like being Reese's official DJ. I think that's a DJ bucket list item, like being an official tour DJ of some artist, because that's such a honor, right? Because you get to be their person and you love. I mean, I became Reese's DJ because I fell in love with her music because she's dope, period, to begin with. So but yeah, man, I mean, I really appreciate your time. Real quick, just throw out your socials, throw out all that information real quick so we can know where to follow you at and know where to hear you at and know where to watch you at. And yeah, throw them out there for us.
Sure. Everything is at DJ Wonder. DJWonder.com. You can find everything on there too. If you want any mixes, whatever, it's all DJWonder.com/mixes, or go to Mixcloud.com/DJ Wonder. You can stream everything. And yeah, OnlyFans, DJ Wonder, if you want to check out what I'm working with. But I haven't created that yet. But probably next week I'll create that. And outside of that, man, Twitch.tv/DJ Wonder. That's where I need you to come through Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, sometimes Saturdays, 11 p.m. Eastern. But go on my Instagram and I'll let you know when it's going to be happening.
That's super tight. Yeah, man. Thank you for coming through. I truly appreciate your time as always. And be safe out there. I know, dude, you're killing it, man. From a fan and like just a co-worker technically as another DJ, dude. Like I do look up to you. Like I'm not being a fanboy right now on some respect shit. Like you kill it. And like as I said like earlier, I think the fact that the DJs that do, because I do this shit once a week. I'm doing this Saturday nights once a week, because of my schedule. But like the DJs that do this shit, like you, DJ Franzen, who's done it for, I think he's going on 9 months straight now or something like that. Like
he's approaching like 300, I think.
Yeah, he's like really close to the full year mark, and that's insane to think that he's DJ'd every single night for a year straight. Because you look at D Nice, and I don't know if you saw his Instagram, but he's
No, I didn't see it. What is he?
He's down for the count right now, but he's taking some time because he just needs that.
That was a joke, man. I was gonna ask you what happened. Does he live stream also? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about D Nice. I have no idea about that guy. But yeah, man, but getting back to my point real quick, like just having that creative edge to come out every day and kill it and like have really good solid streams and content and all of that stuff together, like that's true talent, bro. Like that's no joke. Like I don't know, like you just don't see that in every stream with what you're doing and what the top, streams we know of are doing. So big shout out to you and the whole Sway in the Morning crew, of course, and Animal Status as well. That's another dope show you do on Shade 45. So real quick, plug your 2 Sirius XM shows before we end this interview.
Sure. You just said it, man. Sway in the Morning. I don't know what the hell I do on there anymore. I mean, I'm in the background. I get paid. It is what it is. I do that Monday through Friday, 8 to noon. And then Animal Status. That's my show that's on for 2 hours every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And that's straight like horrorcore, underground, all kinds of stuff on there. Stuff that nobody else plays on Shade 45. Probably nobody plays anywhere in the world on radio. And maybe that's a bad thing, but maybe it's a good thing. You'll be into
that's why it's dope, man. That's why it's dope, and that's why you're DJ Wonder. All right, Twitch fan, make sure you thank DJ Wonder in the chat right now for joining us tonight on our stream. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to be hosting Jerome Baker III and asking him some questions about his DC living days. But, man, give it a round of applause for DJ Wonder one more time.
Yeah.
And, Wonder, it's been a pleasure, bro. Be safe. And I really appreciate you coming through today, man. Love you.
Got it.